All right, Shalom Yasha'Allah. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Qudash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, it's a quick one. I just want to touch bases on this topic right here. You know, better late than never. Today, as I'm recording this, it's the evening. It's nighttime, but it's September 18th. And this, as you see here in this image, it's not just Wendy's. It says Wendy's right here, but it's also McDonald's and Burger King. You know, these popular fast food chains that are selling cheeseburgers for like a crazy discount, almost free. Okay, and I'm going to speak on this topic and tell you, you know, my opinion and, you know, what I believe could be going on right now as far as this whole thing, you know what I mean? Please pay attention, because if you eat any of these, it might be a good idea to avoid them, especially after you hear what I got to say in this lesson, you know what I mean? So before I go any further, I just want to say double honors to the elders and the apostles, chiefly of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from, or I learned the truth from. They're the real prophets of these end times, and if you listen to them, which is the mouth of the Most High, then you do have a good shot at salvation. I want to say shalom to the Akwaf, meaning you sisters that are in order, you're precious to us. And shalom to you Israelites scattered abroad, meaning you Israelites that may look like these other nations. You might look like a so-called white man, Chinese man, Arab, any type of other nation out there, you know what I mean? But if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are indeed a Hebrew Israelite. Because this thing ain't about color. We don't teach this is about that it's about color. So therefore, we are not the black Hebrew Israelites, as some people like to call us. We are just the Hebrew Israelites. There's nowhere in the Bible where you'll hear the term black Hebrew Israelite. That was a term that was put on us to sort of label us as some kind of black power movement or something like that, when we're not. We just teach the truth of the Holy Bible, and you'd be wise to listen, okay? So, Lord willing, you find this lesson edifying. Now, what you have here, as you see, Wendy's, also McDonald's, and Burger King are selling cheeseburgers for, you know, pennies. It says here 1 cent. 1 cent burgers. That just don't make no damn sense, man. When has anything been 1 cent? They're practically giving it away. But you got to think wisely. You know, if the elites are pushing heavily for us to stop eating meat, you know, they're coming out with all this lab-grown meat. They're talking about cow burps are killing the planet, causing global warming. You know, they're killing off cows and chickens in a large number, you know what I mean? And they're trying to move toward their mystery meats, which this is probably mystery meat that they're selling you right here. Lord knows what's in these things, man. You can't trust corporate, you know, these elites, man, and their franchises. You can't trust these things, man. You know what I mean? Lord knows what they're doing behind the scenes with this food. It's all factory-made, mass-produced food, man. And you got to think about it. Is there enough cows in the world to support this? Especially selling it for 1 cent. You know the queues that are going to line up? And you know who it's targeting? It's targeting you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the homeless of these other nations. You know, because basically it's an attack on the poor. Okay, I just want to pull out a few precepts, because the Bible tells you not to trust your enemy, you know. And who are our enemies? It's Esau, Edom. You know, he's our number one enemy, and he's the one that rules the earth. You know, if you don't understand what I'm saying here, then I advise you to go back and watch a few of my other videos, because I do prove many times with scripture that the so-called white man, which is the nation of Edom, is your number one enemy. And I'm talking to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans predominantly, who are the biblical Israelites. You are the Israelites of the Holy Bible, okay? Regardless of what they try to tell you. So the first precept, this is Sirach, otherwise known as the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha that they like to hide from you. And this is verse 12, and I'm going to read verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So the Bible is telling you never trust your enemy. Haven't we learned from the past? You know, when they gave us the jump shot, they said there was a pandemic, you know, and then they forced that jump shot on you. Now look what's happening to all the people that took it. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of rumors and so-called conspiracy theories, which a lot of them, well, all of them are true. You know what I mean? If you do your research and then you find out that fact checkers is funded by the same people that are pushing this agenda, you know what I mean? You people got to be smart in these end times. You got to really, you know, be diligent, man, and circumspect, you know, and really pay attention to what's going on. I mean, these elites are openly saying, you know, you got Mr. Gates of Hell himself, if you get what I'm saying, old Billy Boy, yeah? He's out of his own mouth said that he wants to depopulate the planet. But then at the same time, like a few weeks later, this man is, all of a sudden there's a pandemic, and now this man wants to save your life with his medicine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man, when are people going to wake up? Don't be a fool all your life. At some point, you got to wake up and smell the coffee and realize what this life is really about. You're at war. Okay? These people don't like you. They're trying to take you off the planet, but at the same time trying to save your life with their medicine, in which everybody stuck out their arm and accepted, man, like fools, and now they're regretting it. Same thing happening now. You know, they're talking about cows are, you know, eating meat is causing global warming, but then they're practically giving away free meat. Come on, man. Do I have CUNT written on my forehead? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are going to line up for this, unknowing that they're being deceived. So Lord willing, you people that people out there that might be watching this video, you probably never thought of it that way. And Lord willing, it opens your eyes and you think to yourself, actually, he could be right. Let me just avoid that, even though it is cheap, even though I'm poor and I could really use this cheap food. Don't trust your enemy, man. These people are your enemy. They're not your friend. When will you wake up and realize this? They've never, ever shown that they're a friend to you. What have they ever done to show that they're a friend to you? These people are always proving that they're your enemy. Look at the Tuskegee experiment that they did. If you don't know about that, do your research, man. Okay? These people are forever trying to take you off the map. Okay? Let me just quickly pull up another quick precept. All right, it's the book of Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So a prudent man such as myself, you know, not to brag or anything, but I know I'm a prudent man. Okay, hence the reason why the Lord chose me to warn people, you know, to be a watchman to the house of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why I do these videos, okay? It's to warn you of the danger that's coming, okay? That's my job. You know, the Lord assigned me for this job. It's not that I said I wanted to do this when I get older. The Lord assigned me for this. He gave me the knowledge. He gave me the understanding as to what's going on, and therefore I am obligated to teach. So I'll read that one more time. A prudent man, you know, a man that is very wise and circumspect, you know. He pays attention. He's, some might call him a conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? Although a real word for that is a critical thinker. You know, the word conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA to demonize critical thinkers, okay? People that think critically. Okay, it's just another buzzword to demonize us, basically, okay? People that are wise and prudent, okay? So a prudent man foreseeth the evil. You know, we see wickedness coming. We see what they're planning. We see when these devils are up to no good. You know, for an example, we see the evil coming and we hide ourselves, you know. When we see that, oh, they're selling these 1-cent burgers. Hey, we know there's a trick up his sleeve yet again. He's always plotting and scheming on you poor. But the simple pass on and are punished. The simple are like, you people, you're just paranoids or you're fearmongers. You know what I mean? You're spreading fear porn and all that, they say. You know what I mean? They're simple, but they pass on and are punished. But if I've given you the warning and then you pass on and you're punished, hey, the blood's off my hands. And I ain't gonna shed a damn tear, man. All right, this is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So Satan is, the adversary, basically the people in this earth that live according to the spirit of Satan. Okay, they do everything adverse to the ways of the Most High. Therefore, they are the children of Satan. And we, as the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, us that are of the elect, should I say, we're of the Most High. We're the children of the Lord. We're the children of the Most High. Okay, and these are the seed of Satan. Okay, starting with these elites. The elites, they've more than proven that they're devil worshippers. Okay, so when it says lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, you got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You got to figure out what this scripture actually means in a spiritual sense. It's talking about the wiles of the devil, these plots and schemes that these elites are constantly pushing upon you poor. Don't fall victim to it. You got to be smarter than them, okay? We're at war, man. You got to be a step ahead. You got to get ahead of the game, okay? Recognize what's going on. Because if you don't realize you have an enemy and you don't realize what's really going on in this world, you're going to fall victim, okay? So we're not ignorant of his devices, us that are prudent, us that foreseeth the evil. We know what's going on, man, okay? And we're going to avoid him and we're going to live, Lord willing, okay? For listening to sound doctrine. I was going to pull up some more precepts, but you know what I'm going to do? I've got one more video I want to play. So I'm going to play that and then I'll bust out the last few of these precepts that I have on deck. Okay, so Lord willing, you're edified thus far.
Yeah, the Simpsons did it again. For entertainment purposes only. Let's get right into it. Next week, these 3 companies will be selling 1-cent cheeseburgers. It's a promotion for National Cheeseburgers Day, where you'll be able to buy cheeseburgers for $0.01 going through the app. So Wendy's is doing it from the 18th to the 22nd. McDonald's and Burger King are doing it on the 18th. McDonald's is at 50 cents. But listen, all these companies are owned by the same people. Now, I'm not going to say the person's name, but a famous computer person that's been experimenting with insects owns a lot of what's going on and a lot of the beef that's been sending out. If you guys don't think that this is nefarious, that there's not something behind all these cheap, tainted burgers being sold at you at pennies on the top, then you're bugging. Straight up. Now, I'm going to show you a clip, a Simpsons clip, where just watch.
I'm here at Krusty Burger for the launch of the highly anticipated Burger Squared. Krusty, what can you tell us about this fantastic new sandwich?
I'm glad you asked, Kent. We start with grade A beef, feed that to other cows, then kill them and serve the unholy results on a 7-grain bun. Burger Squared.
The man checks out. First human to sample this delicious crime against nature. Juicy, flavorful, with just a hint of...
Hey, that's my check cashing arm, you stupid girl.
A little tip, you might want to wash me before you eat me.
Yeah. So if you haven't fasted, I would suggest you begin to do so. This next coming week is going to be very decisive, and things are going to start ballooning. there are things inside these products that you consume that are dormant that will be activated. There can be a lot of bad stuff going on. I myself gave up meat months ago. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat flesh. I saw the writings on the wall. Things were just not right. And I've been fasting a lot. I keep that privately because that's between me and the Father. But I share that because I suggest you all do so. It's very important. And it's also going to cleanse your body. The time is near. Be very careful. Do not fall for it. Do not buy these burgers no matter how cheap they are. They're cheap for a reason. If it is too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay. So, as you know, a lot of you know that they like to put things that they plan to do in these Simpsons episodes. Okay, they're quite known for so-called predicting future events, which really these elites are just left-hand prophets. They're left-hand prophets, okay? They're prophets on the left hand because they already plan to do certain things and then they'll put it right in front of your face. So hopefully, watching this video, if you haven't seen it before, it'll kind of open your eyes as to what they could be planning to do. Now, I don't know 100%. I'm not 100% sure. This ain't 100% fact that something's going to happen, but you just got to be wise is all I'm saying, okay? That's what this lesson's about, is just to be safe, just avoid their meat, okay? Never trust your enemy, They say if something's too good to be true, it probably is. And being that we're at the end of summer and fall is about to hit, what perfect time for them to go ahead with their NWO agenda, their plans that they plan in these secret Bilderberg meetings and stuff. There's already rumors of them locking us down again. And, I've got other lessons I've got planned that are going to open your eyes and let you know that they're about to come down with great wrath upon us. Okay, so you just got to be circumspect, man. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and pull that precept next. All right, so this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, "See then that ye walked circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." Okay, so you got to walk with wisdom in these end times because we're living in very crazy times, okay, where you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's in order to survive. And when it says walk circumspectly, when you go into the meaning of that word circumspect, it means to look around, okay? I know a lot of you have heard of the word circumference, which means like a circle or around or something like that. Something to that manner. It's the same concept, okay? You got to walk circumspectly. You got to look around, okay? Don't be a fool. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on in the world, especially when it links up to biblical prophecy. Because we all know the truth of the Holy Bible. We all know that the Lord, that Esau is about to come down on us, having great wrath, okay? And this could be something that's going to trigger a major event, all in time for the fall season, man, the autumn, okay? Verse 16, it says, "Redeeming the time, because the days are evil." Just like I said earlier, man, we're living in very wicked times. These people are at war with us, they've declared war on the general population. So what good way to take out the poor, which they want to target first, because they know the poor are going to flock to these 1-cent burgers. Okay? Don't be a fool, all right? Redeem the time, meaning take heed and pay attention to the times that you're living in. Understand the time you're living in. This ain't like the olden days where life was sweet, you know what I mean? And you could plan to go to college for a couple of years, get a degree, get a good job. Hey, times have changed. These ain't those times anymore. In case you haven't noticed, this ain't the time to be living like that. This is the time to be, on your P's and Q's, okay? Because we're at war. All right, this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." And that's, You got to understand that when it talks about devil, it's not talking about a red man under the ground with a spandex suit, pitchfork and horns, you know what I mean, and a tail ready to poke you to death, okay? That's not the character it's talking about. When it says devil, you got to go into the meaning of words, okay? You got to understand what it means by when it says devil, you know? Devil means diablos, or basically the ones that are adverse to the ways of the Most High, adverse to the right way. All they do is spread wickedness in this earth that is opposite of the ways of the Most High, you know, LGBTQ, NMNP, HIV, and all that madness. You know what I mean? That's adverse to the ways of the Most High. So your adversary, which are these elites, okay, Esau, then the elite nation of the elites of the nation of Esau, Edom, okay, is what I'm trying to say. They're going around as a roaring lion, and it says they're seeking whom they may devour. Keyword, who they may devour. Because the simple pass on and are punished. So if you're not on your P's and Q's, you know, if you're not sober and vigilant, then he may devour you. He has authority to devour you because you're walking around as a fool. You're being blind. You're being simple. Okay, it's time to wisen up like you never have before. These are the times where you got to get serious, okay? For the survival of you and your children. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure." Okay, so basically a man that walks with wisdom and knowledge, meaning the wisdom and knowledge of the Holy Bible, the fear of the Lord is that man's treasure. Okay, but the point being in this precept, it says wisdom and knowledge. So when you walk around with wisdom and you're not being a fool, and you're like, hold on a minute, that sounds too good to be true. And we know how Esau gets down. A wise man, a prudent man, will clock what's going on. You know, he'll peep game, in other words. So it says, in wisdom and knowledge, the knowledge of the Holy Bible, understanding who your enemy is, understanding that you have enemies, talking to the nation of Israel, Yasha Allah. Okay, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. So that's going to keep you stable in the times that we're living in, because we're living in very dark times. It's talking about the times that we're living in now when it says thy times. It says in strength of salvation. Okay, so that's the strength of your salvation. Because if you're walking around as a fool and you trusting in the government and you go ahead and take the jump shot, you know, because you're scared of the pandemic. You know, you got fear-mongered by the mainstream media. You know, they did their work on you. You know what I mean? So if you're walking around as a fool and you go ahead and took the jump shot, hey man, you know, you lacked knowledge, you lacked wisdom in that certain situation. So therefore, there is a very slim chance that you would receive salvation. You'll probably end up dead in the next few years or months or whatever. You know what I mean? Your lifespan has been greatly decreased. So therefore, what it says is if you walk with wisdom and knowledge in these times we're living in, it's gonna keep you stable, and it's gonna be the strength of your salvation. Because the Bible says those that endure to the end shall be saved. So if you fall victim to the snares and traps of Esau, Edom, okay, his devices, you know, the wiles of the devil, in other words, then there's a slim chance you're going to receive salvation. You're going to end up being devoured by this devil, okay? So it's very important to take heed to what the prophets are saying. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 14. It says, the wicked, which is a so-called white man, starting with the elites of the so-called white man, the rulers. It says, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. So us that are bringing out this truth, they're hell-bent on destroying us. And you people that are considered the poor, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they have a plot to take you off the earth. And they've waged war against you. But they do it in secrecy. They pretend like they're trying to help you, when really they're trying to kill you. But a lot of our people still ain't clock game. They're still not privy to it. Okay? So the wicked have drawn out the sword, meaning they've waged war against us, whether you know it or not, and have bent their bow, same thing, to cast down the poor and needy, that's us, and to slay such as be of upright conversation, that's us, man, us that teach the truth. All right, this is the book of Psalms, and verse 2, I'll read through 3. And Lord willing, these are the last precepts I'm going to bring out. I said this lesson won't be too long, just a couple of precepts I had in mind to bring out involving this topic. So it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, So, even though they've waged war against the poor, which is you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the biblical Israelites, although they've waged war against you in secrecy, they're not going to win. They might take out a lot of you wicked Israelites that the Lord allows him to destroy, okay? Because that's also a biblical prophecy that 2/3 of our people will be destroyed before the coming of the Lord. But it says here, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So the Lord is going to let them be destroyed by the same devices that they plan to use to destroy you. Which mainly is these ICBM nuclear missiles. They plan to go underground and leave you up here to cook. Really, it's going to take out their people. The Lord is going to deliver the new rulers of the new earth, okay, which is the holy ones of our nation, okay, the elect. Verse 3, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh abhorreth. Okay, so the point being is that the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and that's why they put these things in your face, on these Simpsons episodes and stuff like that. They'll put it in music videos, they'll put it in movies, TV programs, and commercials. They'll put certain things in your face that they plan to do in the future. They'll put the truth in your face, knowing damn well that you don't understand what it means. You know what I mean? You average people out there that don't have the spirit of discernment. You wasn't blessed with that spirit. So therefore it goes right over your head. A lot of you would have watched that episode of The Simpsons and wouldn't have a clue what it meant. And they do that on purpose. That's their way of boasting of their heart's desire. They know that they're going to destroy you through their meat, through their burgers, so they'll put it on The Simpsons. And none of you are, and you're none the wiser, man. You know what I mean? So they boast of their heart's desire. Okay, it's all here in the scriptures. One more thing I want to mention before I close this lesson out is that, I watched one other brother that did a lesson on this topic of the meats. Because, I always plan to just speak on it quickly, do a real quick lesson. So I didn't really look too deep into it. I wasn't watching other brothers' videos on it really, because I understand what's going on, you know what I mean? But I did watch one brother, okay? I forget the name of the brother who I watched, but one thing he mentioned that stuck out to me that is something that was a good point. He said that the dollar menu hasn't been around for like 4 years. So why all of a sudden now, perfect timing, they're coming out with something that's cheaper than the dollar menu. Talking about 1 cent burgers. Hey man, you gotta be on your P's and Q's. Like I said, you gotta be vigilant as hell in these end times. Okay, so even if it is all just coincidence, let's just say. And he ain't plotting anything, and that meat is clean, it's good. And he really is trying to look out for you and give you a 1-cent burger for some reason. Something he calls Burger Day or something. It's ridiculous, or Burger Week, something like that. You know, even if that was the case, hey man, I'd be circumspect. I'd be very cautious of this devil. You know, we gotta learn from past mistakes. And if this pandemic taught us anything, it's to never trust our enemy, man. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it there, close it out, give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Alright, Shalom.